So, peace and blessings. My name is Carlos Walker. This is Forward Progress, and today I'm here with Mr. Craig. How you doing, Craig?
I'm doing great, man. Blessings to you, bro.
Man, look. So, before we start, share a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Um, uh, I'm Craig Watson, born and raised in D.C. Was incarcerated for 22 years. Went to prison when I was a juvenile. Been home a little over 5 years. I got out on the incarcerated administrator. Incarcerated Amendment Act of 2016. So that's me, man.
Okay. So, here on Forward Progress, this is what we do. We share a little bit about what happened or who you were before you went to prison, a little bit about prison, but all the great things that you're doing now. So, if you will, share a little bit about who you were in your youth. And if you want to, feel free to elaborate on just part of what happened. I mean, we know it's open to the public, but at the same time, I don't know if you feel comfortable or not. But if so, share a little bit, then we're gonna move forward.
Yeah, I was raised in Southeast. I was raised in Southeast neighborhood, Silver City, and was raised by my mother, and also basically like the community have raised us. Also, I had two brothers and a sister, all of them older than me, and it was the typical upbringing. You know what I mean? Up in the DC in the Southeast area, just typical upbringing. You know what I'm saying? My father was he was in Carolina. I met him when I got incarcerated. But I was just a normal kid, I was there hanging out, you know what I mean, playing sports, hanging out, you know what I mean, just and wind up, getting caught up in it, the street life, you know what I'm saying. That because my mother wasn't there for me, my mother was there for us. It just, sometimes it's just peer pressure and just your environment just shape you to be who you is. And in '97, I wound up getting caught up, man. Some of the friends wound up getting caught up in a case, and we were sentenced to life sentence as juveniles.
So, if you will, share a little bit about the environment, about DC, because a lot of people may not know how the city was back in. I'm assuming this was the '90s,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
and so share a little bit about what the environment was like. Because me, I'm from Southern Virginia. I know a little bit about the city, but you know what I mean. For those who don't know, paint the picture.
It started like just what I mean, like just fun. You know what I mean. DC was fun. Like in the early '90s, it was fun. It was block parties. They had a fire hydrants open for the kids to play. You know what I mean. You had like the older guys, they didn't really want, the younger guys being involved with the street life and stuff like that, selling drugs and stuff like that. But they made sure you went to school. You know, man, if somebody had some shoes, they looked out and stuff like that. I had no money for like trips and stuff like that. It was just a family. Our neighborhood was just like a big family for real. But I think, after a while, the drugs, the crack, man, hit and it started affecting people's families, man. Certain people mothers, some people mothers, fathers on drugs, man, in neighborhoods. And it just, it just went down here from there, right? Then it come with the, people that, what I mean, start falling out with different neighborhoods and stuff like that. And it just more so like in some of these neighborhoods, we grew up with some of these same people, right? But it just, things that divided whatever happened, you know what I'm saying? And then it led to, what I mean, just, ongoing beefs, people passing away, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, people getting killed and stuff like that. And people get killed is always like a retaliation. Even if the other people that you beef with ain't do it, somebody else did it, they gonna always say some people that you beefing with did it, you know what I'm saying? And it just led to, one thing led to another, man. Just every day the same thing that was going on. You know what I'm saying? Just a lot of violence, you know what I mean, drugs, you know what I mean, all the fun went out the window, you know what I'm saying? It just started being like a surviving thing, you know what I'm saying?
Mm. So the reason why I asked that question because it's part of the same thing is happening now, even with the youth now.
Yeah.
They may have grew up around the same the youth in the other section of town. However, because of the, like you said, the beefs and the separation of the community, and people start passing. When people start dying, communities, they separate. I might not have did nothing, but because this is my community, we start beefing with the next community. And the reason why I asked that question is because of the fact that you have a deeper understanding of how things happen in DC. So how you address the youth, because I'm pretty sure you talk to the youth and everything now, correct?
And it's crazy that we speaking on that right now. I just had a conversation this week with two different groups of youth, right? And one a young man, he was just basically saying like the beef should never stop, right? And I was telling him like he from a neighborhood that that me and some of my main buddies was friends was beefing with, right? And now we cool with these guys, right? But I'm telling him, you just looking at it like now, you know what I mean? Because you done lost people. I just like we done lost people. I just as you get older, you know what I'm saying? And I think what really shaped us, you know what I mean, to let things go. I think going to prison and going to the federal system and being around these dudes, being around these guys that you know what I mean. Everybody against DC, but so you got to come together. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would shape a lot of that. You know what I mean? The swash them beefs also, and then over the years, we became close and built little relationships. Some of us already had relationships back then, right? We didn't build them back, and it just people lost on both ends. And I was explaining to the youth, I said, man, so don't never look, you know what I mean? Because you probably just look at me now, like, because I don't talk about the street stuff and like that. You just like, oh, he just swear this, probably do this, man, do certain type of work and stuff like that, right? But I just let him know, man, like, you looking at it now because you're young, because I ain't see it being like that when I was young, you know what I'm saying? But as you get older, man, you realize like that ain't, man, that ain't the way to go. And man, you definitely hurt by the laws that you done took and stuff like that. But at the same time, man, you gotta mature and just move forward because at the end of the day, we was caught up. If I'd have been grew up somewhere else, I'd have been from there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I said, and I tell the youth all the time, man, these neighborhoods, these are not our neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times, even when I was telling the youth the other day, the beef that they caught up in, it started. It
Mm-hmm.
was going on when I was out there, same beef, right? And it happened before I was in the street, so I don't even know how it happened. So I know you don't know how it transpired, how everything took place, right? But at the end of the day, I think it's just more so them knowing, like right now, it's a totally different time right now, and like we can relate. Those who've been in the street before can, and we can't,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a whole different thing going on now, right? So that's why I just try to like the youth that I deal with. Some of them part is work related. Some of them just I see them, at the schools and stuff like that. But it just you build relationship with it. Sometimes it just basically like you got to get them comfortable with the share with you, and you got to listen to these youth because everybody going through different things, right? And everybody think it's just a one size shoe fit all. It's not. What's going on in apartment 1A is different. What's going on in apartment 1B and 1C stuff like that, right? So it's different situations going on that's causing
So
them to act like that.
so share what age was it when you actually got incarcerated?
17.
Okay, 17, something happened. You and a group of friends, something transpired. What was it like when you first got locked up?
I think when it first got locked up, it ain't really hit me. I think it just over the months you just like, cause you still thinking you young, you don't understand what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You really don't understand like how serious the situation is and stuff like that, right? And then you like you young, so you don't really understand. You know what I'm saying? And then they send you like DC jail juvenile block where everybody up there is facing the same time you got stuff like that, but you ain't really looking at that like that. You know what I'm saying? But I think what really hit me when I went to Lord and behind the wall. You know what I'm saying? Because you hear all these stories about big Lord and you know what I'm saying behind the wall, Aqua and all that. but I was sitting behind the wall and just going back there. You know what I mean? It was an eye open that you had to be really like you ain't no kid no more. You're a man. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like you had to mature real fast. I did. You know what I'm saying? I think quite sure the rest of the young men that went back there had to mature real fast. Good thing I ain't had no issues back there. And you know what I'm saying? I ain't never had to do nothing to nobody. Nobody did nothing to me. But it was just more so it was just a mature and you had to observe a lot of the guys, a lot of the men that been there, you know what I'm saying, observe what to do and what to not to do. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what helped me through that, you know, me by the grace of God, just always been an observer, you know what I'm saying? And I just observe the guys, man, you know what I'm saying? And that's definitely important. And some of them try to teach you lessons, teach you how to move, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Some of them I listened to, some of them I didn't because you don't really understand it until you put in certain situations. Even though they was telling us about the federal system, a lot of guys was coming back telling us about the federal system. We don't know it until we get there how things is. But as far as like being a Lord, man, you know what I'm saying? It was definitely a hell of a teachable moment, you know what I'm saying? When you had to grow up, mature fast, all them games and joking and playing is out the window, man. You around a lot of bunch of men, you know what I'm saying? And you gotta carry yourself like a young man, you know what I'm saying, overnight, you know what I'm saying? It could be a lot of repercussions just by you playing or just not you being naive to a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? And even a lot of the street stuff it carry on in prison too. Then there's be a lot of stuff, you know what I mean, that you people families, you might have did something to somebody's family, they down there, whatever the situation might be. So just being a good observer, man, just helped me, what I mean, make it through there. It just, I've always been a humble dude, you know what I'm saying? People take a liking me, trying to school me, the older guys and stuff like that.
So before we go down that rabbit hole a little further, uh, the psychological part, I always love to deal with the psychological part when a person first got there because they gave you what was it? You got a two-part sentence, right? Or
Yeah, I
just
got
one?
35 years to life.
Okay, so 35 being when you would go up for parole.
You go up parole. My parole date was 2032.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So 35, 30, it would have been right there at 35, somewhere around there when you first would get your first initiation to go up. So what was running through your mind when they first gave you 35 to life?
I ain't
If you can come
understand.
up.
I ain't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Even though it was explained to me over and over. You know what I'm saying? What I had, but I think it's just me being around so many guys that had that similar time. The majority of them was young. Some of them was my age. Some of them was a little older, right? But I just the mental. I ain't had the mental capacity to what I mean to understand that. I couldn't understand that. But as years went past, as years went on, then I was doing little stuff, getting in trouble and stuff like that, or just fall into the prison lifestyle, and just like not really getting in a lot of trouble, just more so like it is what it is. I'm just trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I think when you being in certain places, you just trying to survive. Like a lot of other stuff, what I mean, going home is not on your agenda. It's just you trying to survive, what I mean, make it every day, what I mean. But it's just more so over the years, man, it hit me like, dang, you know what I'm saying? I got all this time, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna probably never go home. But what really hit me was, when I went to prison, my son was 2 months old, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So that was like, and I kept thinking, if I do get out, how old I be when I get out? My son will be that age, you know what I'm saying? But just like, but I always believe one day I'll make it out. As I got older, I always believed one day I'll make it out. You know what I'm saying? So I started like working on myself. Cause when I came to prison, I ain't know how to read, write, and spell at all.
Mm.
But I told myself, you know what I'm saying? I told myself how to, read and stuff like that. But it was more so some of the guys that, that knew me and stuff like that. They was trying to push me to, trying to help me at that time. I ain't want no help. You know what I'm saying? I was cool with letting people write letters for me, or to my family, and read the letters to me. But I started, teaching myself how to read, write, and spell, man. I started reading a lot of books and stuff like that. That's how I started educating myself. And I started just like, moving away from stuff that I was into, you know what I'm saying, to really like work on me.
Being that you right there, what made you decide to make the change to better yourself? What gave you
I
the
think
thought or the idea to say, you know what, I'm going to decide to read. I'm going to decide to not allow somebody to keep pushing or keep doing this for me. I'm gonna do it for me.
I think it came one time I was in solitary confinement for a long time at one time. And I got a letter from my mother, you know what I'm saying? She was going through some things, and it was just saying how it was hurting her. And at that time, I think that was 2008 or 9. And she was telling me how she felt when I went to prison. And that was like, touched me, you know what I'm saying? Because all these years, my mother feel this way, how my situation hurt her, you know what I'm saying? She was just like, she wanted me to just get close to home where she could see me, you know what I'm saying? And I just kept saying, only way I could get close to home if I get to an FCI, because none of the pens USPs was close to DC. Let's probably 6 7 hour drive, and that's different. And I ain't want my mother to do that, even though I know she would have did it, whatever. But then I just wanted to like change my life. I just wanted like, even though I had a life sentence, I also wanted my mother, not just my mother, my son, my sister, my brother. I got nieces and nephews. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted them to know, this other that it was another version of me, even though they look at me like I can't do no wrong or just I'm perfect in their eyes, but in the eyes of others, I have made a lot of mistakes. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to, I wanted to make it close to home. I wanted to make it to an FCI to see my mother, but I also and my other family members. But I just wanted better for myself.
You actually got locked up what year?
97.
Okay, so roughly it was almost probably I'm assuming 8 to 10 years before you decide to say, yo, I'm about to tighten up.
Yeah.
And as you did tighten up, tell a little bit about uh, the process, I guess, of even learning to read, learning to write, because this is a heck of a process. Everybody don't.
Yeah, it wasn't like overnight or nothing like that. It took years, you know what I'm saying? It took years, but this initiated this the what I mean, go to library or go to education. Then I had a lot of friends who at the they wives and girls used to send them a lot of books and stuff like that. So I used to get them books. I get them out they sell, or they give them to me, and I just be reading a book a day. Sometimes I sit in my cell or sit out in front of my cell and read a book a day. So all them urban novels, what I mean, I told myself how to read through that, even though over the years still was I ain't believe in that lifestyle no more, but I still that helped me learn how to read and comprehend. Because over the years, I wound up going back into school, and I wound up getting back put back in school because if you drop out of school after you get your eyes in a BOP, it's hard to get back in, especially somebody with a life sentence. So it's hard to get back in. I dropped out in 2001 when I was in Leavenworth USP, but when I was in Petersburg, the meeting 2012, 2013, a friend of mine named Clifford Yarborough, he helped me get back in school. You know what I'm saying? And I studied for 4 months, and I got my GED. And it was the first time I felt like I accomplished something. And what made it so special with the graduation, that was the first time I seen my mother's sister at 17 years on that graduation day, and it was my sister's birthday. You know what I'm saying? So that was like a special moment for me, and I know my mother and them. It was a special moment for her and my sister too, because I ain't seen them in 17 years. So that was just to see I'm able to cap and gown. You know what I'm saying? That's something I always wanted to do. I think in prison sometimes we look at certain things, be like, dang, you know what I'm saying? You look like it's all over, but sometimes it's just having that liquor, that faith. And I used to always tell my friends, some of my friends, Like, man, I'm gonna go home one day. He just look at me like I was tripping, you know what I'm saying? But then we sit back and we laugh about it. Get like, well, you always say, no, I ain't know how, you know what I'm saying? But just to be out here and just doing the right thing and, helping the men and women, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely important.
So we're gonna move forward. After you get your GED, did you ever decide to tutor or help anybody else while you was in there?
No, I ain't decided to tutor because at that time I was working in Unicorp. I never
Okay.
worked in Unicorp, but I had worked in Unicorp at that time because I feel like at that time I was already in probably like 16 years, something like that. Probably like 15, 16 years. And, it was a lot of wear and tear on my family, you know what I mean? And then I was good, you know what I'm saying? Like I had friends that took care of me, stuff like that. I had a few friends that took care of me my whole time I was incarcerated too, right? And so, but I just wanted to go to Unicorn, I just wanted to go to Unicorn and make my own money too, you know what I'm saying? And take a little pressure off my family. Because no matter what, my sister, my mother, my brother, and my other brother before he passed, and my little, one of my nieces, she sent me 20, $30. That junk, like, you know what I'm saying? I always remember that, you know what I'm saying? But just like, no matter what you tell them not to do, they'll still do it.
Hmm. And Unicorn, hey, even though you ain't getting paid what outside people get paid, Unicorn does do something for people who are in there.
Yeah, see, it wasn't like the Unicorn back in the days when I first came to federal system. They was making it 600, 700. This Unicorn right here, you probably make about 130, but that was good too.
Yeah, it still does. It still do something.
Nah, it did a lot. You know what I'm saying? It did a lot, and it kept me busy too, right? It kept me busy. You know what I'm saying? I had a program like right after Unicorn. You know what I'm saying? You go in and you lock in right after lockdown. We work out stuff like that. So you had a program. You know what I'm saying? But I think it definitely helped me. You know what I'm saying? Because that was my first time being in the FCI too.
Okay.
That was my first time being in a meeting. You know what I'm saying? So I done been through the pens and stuff like that. But just to be at the meeting, just different. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. There's a lot of young guys, not just from DC, Virginia, Carolina, that what I mean, that I took a liking to. They took a liking to me, and I try to school them, let them know you don't want to be like this. You know what I'm saying? They was getting blessed to just come in for 3, 4 years, 5 years, and even 10 years. You know what I'm saying? And I just the way I walk, they knew what type of time I was on. I was just on just on positive peace time.
You became a mentor basically to those. Like for me, when I was in there was a lot of people from DC that I hung around with, and did already did like you said for yourself, 16. They already did massive time, and they become mentors to you because of they've already went through their BS.
Yeah,
They came in wide open. They calmed down and started training, started learning themselves, and they started giving back. So basically, what you was doing was giving back.
yeah.
So,
And at that time, I ain't know. At that
mm,
time, I ain't know that I was giving back. I just ain't want, I just ain't want to see nobody in my situation. You know what I'm saying? Even though they was in prison, but just to have, that, that time. You know what I mean? Because there was other guys there that had that time. There was a couple of guys been there 40 something years, been in prison 40 something years. You know what I'm saying? Some of them longer than I was born. But and I remember some of them giving back to me and other guys when we was young, even though we weren't trying to hear. Some of the young they weren't trying to hear. And, sometimes I just like when we get in the TV rooms and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I just talk to them, you know what I'm saying? Or get one on one, you know what I mean? Because like I'm observed, I see things that's going on, right? And a lot of them come with me, for advice and stuff like that. So I never wanted to stir them the wrong way. Even though me coming up, no older guy never stirred me the wrong way. And I always tell people, nobody never told me to do this, do that. It was just always, I was just doing it, you know what I mean? To fit in or just, you know what I mean? Because that's what everybody else was doing. But nobody never told me to go and do nothing like that. I think it's just more so, and I never wanted to do that to none of them young guys because at the end of the day, I had a son out there that was getting older. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't want nobody to do it to my son. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want nobody to do it to nobody.
So we about to shift. When you found out that they was even doing the IRA, and then you found out that it was applicable to you, how did you how did you feel knowing that faith that you was talking about, telling them people, man, look, I'm going home. How did you feel that it was about to happen? What was the emotional, psychological part of it?
When I first heard of IRA, I heard of it, through the reading something from the Campaign Centers of Fair Youth. I love them to death. Jody, Crystal, Eddie, all of them, you know what I'm saying? Xavier, all of them. But it was a booklet I had got, and they was talking about, you know what I'm saying? And then somebody, uh, Harley Fowers, he sent the email, but I was thinking he was already home because I seen the email, but I think it came through like family. It came through somewhere. It was like a letter or something like that. But and I think they probably just sent it out to everybody, that it fit, you know what I'm saying? But I was the only person on the Petersburg yard compound that it applied to at that time, right? But so you talk to other guys about it. Everybody, some guys like they ain't hit it, you know what I'm saying? This don't seem this. So some people like, yeah, that's what's up, you know what I'm saying? But this, man, I think this true, you know what I'm saying? Because I always was going to the library and I was reading like the Montgomery case, the Graham case, which is Montgomery. I got a chance to meet, man. He did 40 some years, probably 50 something. And Graham, I just met him a couple of weeks ago. Uh, you read them cases and how, how the mind, and stuff like that with juveniles, kids and stuff like that. So I always but I kept saying to myself, I hope they, like, because I think it was just like me. A lot of them had like life without parole, death penalty, and stuff like that. And then one of my co-defendants, he also Jovan, he filed that. I think he used some of their case, the Graham case. One of them, he filed it and they denied it, right? So I was like, damn, I wish we had a situation like, I guess if we had life without parole or death penalty, it'd have been different. So I guess he understood the distinguished sentence and he filed, you know what I'm saying, even though they denied it. But that's when they came back later and they was like, y'all got to stand a sentence. It's the same thing. If somebody with 35 years life, 25, 40, 50 life, it's just like life without parole, you know what I mean? And the death penalty, stuff like that, right? But so I was writing people, I wrote the campaign. They had me get attorney and stuff like that. And some attorney reached out to me, man. I talk to these attorneys to this day, man. Miss Barbara, Candace, Sonia, all of them, you know what I'm saying? But when they reached out to me, it was crazy because I was in Unico. It was like sometimes when they do the census count, you can't move on the compound.
Mm-hmm.
And they was like, you got a legal call. And I was like, I ain't got no legal call. So, sometimes they mix up people's names and stuff like that, right? So they walk me through the compound. I go to my counselor. It was Friday, so she was like, no, it was Monday. No, it was Thursday. She said, you got a counsel. She's like, this lady? I was like, nah. She like Barbara Burrow. I was like, I don't know. She like, call her back. I was like, man, I ain't calling lady. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So we wound up calling. We left a message. So Friday come back. I don't even think nothing of it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So Monday, they called me again. So I went down there and, we called the lady back. You know what I'm saying? She was on the phone and she said, did you get an attorney yet? I was like, nah. And she was like, don't worry about it. You got an attorney now. You ain't just got an attorney. You got a whole firm that's going to represent you. We told the people Friday that we went to court Friday and said we represent you. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't really I had an attorney back in the day, James Russell. I feel like he was a good attorney, but he only could work with what he had worked with, right? But
Mm-hmm.
but I really believe these people because they came and see me like a week later, right? They came and see me a week later, man, and it was like crazy because I got them in November or something, but they came to see me. They was coming to see me. You know what I'm saying? They was really like reaching out to my family, even though a month after they started coming to see my brother had passed away. He was sick. I ain't know. You know what I'm saying? I knew he was dealing with some kidney stuff since he was young, but he was real sick, and I didn't know they kept it away from me. And I understand, what I'm saying, because I was in there, but he passed away, and they was really concerned, what I mean, stuff like that. But they wind up finding, our joint, man, and they helped me a whole lot because they helped me. I wrote a letter. I wrote this letter in 2011 to the victim family. You know what I'm saying? And when I wrote this letter, I just knew I couldn't get this letter to nobody. I just wrote it, got it off my chest. But this same letter I gave to my lawyers when they came to see me in 2019, 2018, and asked them, can they get this letter to them? They like, I don't know how to get the letter to these people. I don't know them people. But they hooked up with a guy who do restore justice, man, named Jason Rivers in Pittsburgh. And he went and met the family, and gave him the letter, man. And that letter, some of the family ain't, they was like, man, forget that letter, he needs to stay in jail. But the father, he wound up coming to see me and forgave me. You know what I'm saying? We built a father son relationship until he passed away last year. And he testified for me to come home for the IRA, which, his mother-in-law testified that I stay in. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I believe in restorative justice. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know what restorative justice is, but I definitely believe in restorative justice, man. It's to heal the harm that was done from both parties. Because, what I mean? People done stuff to me when I was young. I was shot when I was 13, all that. But at the same time, I believe in forgiveness. I believe you got to heal both parties. Because eventually we're going to be out here around each other, eventually, you know what I'm saying? But it's deeper than, what I mean, than a lot of people know, you know what I'm saying?
The fact that he forgave you and y'all built a father-son relationship, that's amazing. Uh,
Yeah, he checks on me, I check on him. We've been out a couple of times, you know what I'm saying? And his family knew he was talking to me. My family knew I was talking to him, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that.
so the day that you came home, what did it feel like? Or the day that they told you that your time was that you was coming home, what did it feel like? Because I already know the
Yeah.
feeling myself, but what did it feel like for you?
All right. Friday the 2019, April the I forgot it was March or something, but whatever it is, I supposed to came home April the 5th. But a week before that, a couple of weeks before that, I went to court. I mean, I supposed to went to court. They never called me. I'm still in jail. I supposed to went to court. I'm still in jail, right? So I called my lawyers. I'm like, they went and asked the phone. So I called my mother and them. Called my mother, my sister. They like, we at the court, bro. I was like, I'm still at the jail. So they was like, you still in the jail? I was like, yeah. They said you in the back. You about to come? I'm still in jail. So I'm thinking they about to come. They ain't never come and get me, right? So when I talked to my attorney, they was like, they granted my motion, but they say they're not gonna re-sentence me unless I'm here in person. So they postponed it into probably like a few weeks later, when it led to April the 5th. And then when I went to court, but when I was at the jail some months before that, the father came and visited me. You know what I'm saying? And we talked for like 2.5 hours, man. It was like he came in there mad, upset, but once we got to talking and stuff like that, we started laughing and joking, you know what I'm saying? But to go back to that, when he said, man, he gonna let me out, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't wait, you know what I'm saying? It was a Friday. They kept saying, man, you gonna get out today. Saturday came in, like, you gonna get out Saturday. Sunday came in, like, get out Sunday. Nobody get out on Sunday. Now I see. But Monday, man, my sister, man, my mother, they family stayed out there so long, man. It was 3 days. But my sister and some of her friends, they stayed out there, you know what I'm saying? And then they was like, man, take your matches down. And once you take your matches down, it's over up to jail. You know what I'm saying? But even though they kept telling me I'm gonna go home every day, but they like, man, they messing your stuff up. They had my address as my release address in Colorado USP. So I was like, oh, that's my sister address. I get Colorado, but But they when they let me out, man, I thought it was gonna be like a long hallway, a rack of doors to go down. It was one door. I was out the building, and my attorney was like, what you want to do? I said, I just want to get far away from here. And he walked me up the street. I was like, man, just get me to a car. He walked me up the street. I seen a car pull up. I seen a car pull over, and I seen the door open, but I seen somebody get out and just disappear. You know what I'm saying? I was like, look at, you know what I'm saying? All the time with my sister, she broke down. You know what I'm saying? So that I never forget that moment. You know what I'm saying? She was waiting on me to come home all these years. You know what I'm saying? But just to see that car, she got up out from off that street. You know what I'm saying? And hugged me. It was like unbelievable. That when I knew. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, I still want to get home, make no mistakes. But first thing I did, I called my mother and I called my son. Once I got a phone, let him know I was home. You know what I'm saying? Just see my mother. You know what I'm saying? It was beautiful, man. See my mother, my son, brothers, my friends that was always there, even the ones that wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? I see them. You know what I mean? There's no love lost. You know what I'm saying? But I understand. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff transpired. People had kids. There's a lot of stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? But it was definitely, man, like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I'm home. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing, I ain't know. I was just home. I ain't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? But my sister made it. My sister made it easy for me.
My sister, she asked me to ask you, have you ever seen the movie The Forge? There's a movie
The
that's out.
the Forge.
Yeah, it's a movie that's out at the movies now. I
Nah,
haven't seen it.
I don't
Yeah,
watch I don't watch TV or no movie. I just watch sports, man. I like NFL, I like college NBA. But a couple of times I've been to the movies. Like I went to see Bad Boys 2. I went to the movies with a couple of the youth at the program, but sometimes I just fall asleep in there. But I don't watch movies. I probably need to. I keep saying I'm gonna check it out. People be talking about, man, you ain't seen Ghost Power, this and that. I ain't never seen none of that stuff.
she said, hey, check out the movie. It'll be a great movie for you to watch.
Okay.
So now we're gonna fast forward. Tell about all the stuff that you do now, because there's a bunch of stuff that you actually do, helping the youth. Share a little bit of things, because this is what all this, all that you have went through to get up to here. This is what all that was for, was to do the work that you're doing now. Share with me.
Yeah. I'm connected with a reentry program called Free Mind Book Club. They was there for me. I met them like 2014. They was writing me. They was helping come to sales and stuff like that. Them the ones that helped me get back in. And I started program down there with the help of them and my good brother, man, Shannon Battles, man. We help and another couple of other guys, Chase and Elwood, we call it peer support. You know what I'm saying? You help the men and women, mostly the men. You know what I mean? Because we help them navigate back in society. You know what I'm saying? It's what I mean. Even though I'm the peer support specialist, but Shannon the peer, here's the peer support, Mustafa, Pete, James Dunn, James Cobb. It's a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? That Eon Williams. It's a lot of us. You know what I mean? We just help each other navigate back into society. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the hurdles that you face out here, man, is different because a lot of us went to prison when we was young, right? So we don't know about responsibilities. We thinking, we get out there, gonna be a job lined up. Some people say they got a job, and you don't know you got to go through to get. You got to go and get your ID. Some people ain't got your birth. You ain't got your birth certificate. Good thing my brother had my birth certificate, social security card, and stuff like that, right? So it's a lot of stuff. Then you go, like sometimes your family with transportation and stuff like that. So we just got to be there. And it'd be like a lot of these letdowns from these jobs, you know what I mean, from your background and stuff like that. That's why I appreciate, DC, you know what I mean? DC definitely is return senator friendly. And I feel like, man, there's a lot of resources out here, but we got to go out there and find them. You know what I'm saying? We gotta go out there. It's a lot of resources out there, and what I mean. Some of it. I think I'm gonna say with me, right? I might see something. Somebody might tell me about something, and don't take it that serious. You know what I'm saying? Because it might don't apply to me at that time, or I might be focused on something else at that time. But I think we got to take advantage, guys, men and women that's coming home. You got to take advantage of these resources. Some people gonna spend you. Some people it's a process too, right? And I think sometimes we be thinking people spinning us, but sometimes it's just a process. You know, somebody might say, Craig do this, Craig do that, but I probably gotta go to somebody else, and they gotta go to somebody else too, right? But then a lot of times too, even with just coming home, they saying report to see Sosa and stuff like that. You did 20, 30, 40 years. You don't know how you gonna report to see Sosa. You know what I'm saying? You don't know about the transportation. You don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? You don't know about the bus. You don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's like it need to be a lot of different stuff, man. You know what I mean? But we always try to help the men and women. You know, we can't never forget about the women, man. It's definitely a lot of women out there, man, who that was in our same situation. It's just we weren't locked up with the women, so we don't really know them. You know what I'm saying? But I respect people like Sean and Tisha and them. You know what I mean? And all Tanisha and them. You know what I mean? For the why they help the women out, definitely. And there's more women out here, organization that help them too, right? But it's just like they people we just focus on the men. But like this, all we know. We was locked up around them, and we know our situation is different from theirs, and theirs different from ours. But at the end of the day, we all one. Just like the IRA, people think it's no women. Yeah, it's probably at that time at the under 18 at that time, but now it's women that come on from IRA. You know what I'm saying? IRA is not a gender.
Mm.
IRA is not a gender. It's just majority of the men that was locked up that apply. I mean that IRA fit. It wasn't a lot of women. You know what I'm saying? But it's women coming home. So if they got resource for anybody for IRA anything, it's always for the women too. Is IRA is not a gender.
So share with the people what IRA is, but for those who may not have an idea or a clue about it.
It's the Incarcerated Member Act. You know what I'm saying? It's if you serve when I came home, it was if you served 20 years. If you served 20 years before you're 18, I mean, if you were sentenced to a life sentence, distinguished sentence, you know what I'm saying, before your 18th birthday, you got to serve 20 years to go up to give every sentence. You know what I mean? They go off like program. You know, you ain't no threat to society. They don't supposed to use your case to charge, but they use that too. You know what I'm saying? You go off, you know what I mean, your release plan, stuff like that. It's different things they go off, right? But at the same time, now it's 15 years, and now it moved to 18 to 24. So under 24. You know what I mean? So it was just most, I think, the the guys that came out from the 18th one, they was doing so good. I mean, not really doing so good. I'm gonna say yeah, doing good enough where the people's like, man, we can let these other guys out because the only thing separate us is years. They came in a little older than us. We came in a little younger than them. Even right now, there was something on the table for Ira for all because there's still guys that they was 27, 28, but they've been in 30, 40 years, man. These the guys that taught us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? These the guys that taught us. So these the guys I feel like they should be home too. The women too, you know what I'm saying? So but I think, it's an ongoing fight. We definitely, man, we definitely setting our mark out here, but making a lot of man, it's a lot of guys just out here doing a lot of stuff, and the majority of stuff in the community is returned citizens. You know what I'm saying? Whether the violence is with rubber, working with DYS, working with any just in the neighborhoods. Per some of these people ain't even got no job. But they still out these neighborhoods, going back to their neighborhoods, trying to teach these youth and stuff like this, trying to get in these schools, and even if they talk to their little nephews or their grandkids, or they, nieces and all that stuff, that's still making it change, man. You know what I mean? Nobody want nobody to experience what we experience. You know what I mean? And that's why I tell people all the time, man, like you can't be that same person you was when you was 16, 17, 18, and you 40 something, 50 years old, right? But it's just like you gotta mature because there's a lot of people like people looking at you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell people even with what I post on my social media. You know what I'm saying? I just try and watch what I post. You know what I'm saying? Because there's people definitely looking at you, and I don't like really like even though a lot of stuff be going on. You know, man, I don't like to post a lot of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I got my mother on there, my aunts, my nieces, nephews, different family members. You know what I'm saying? But and also it's like different people, lawyers, different people in different organizations, and it's just like that's why I posted on yesterday. I seen somebody posted like I don't post what I'm going through. I post what I what I agree with, right? And I think social media is a good platform, but sometimes we as people use it the wrong way.
It's a great tool if you know how to use the tool.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I
and
think you just got to
that,
be educated on that. Some of us, like, even us coming home, we ain't educated. Like, sometimes we like when I first came out, I used to post all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It just you different place, but I think now you just be careful. And I try to like I got a few buddies like, and I be like watching what they post. I be like, yeah, they posted like motivation stuff. I think that's what it's about. Posting something that's gonna motivate, that's gonna help somebody. You know what I'm saying? We can't keep tearing our people down and hurting our people. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta lift one another up.
there you go.
And it's
So
the time.
you speak to the you speak with the youth and you go back in the prisons. Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Speak about that.
Uh, I've been back to the Petersburg twice. That's the I did my last 7 years there.
Okay.
Uh, that was man, that was a whole that was like a different feeling for me. You know what I mean? Because like a year before I came home, another brother came home. Brother Norman, he came home. He was one of the first guys from DC. I think that Obama pardoned, right? He did like 25 years. I think he did a lot of time down there, probably like 10, 15 years. So he came back in with the program I said, Free Mind Book Club. He came back in with them. And I was like, dang, everybody like, damn, Brother Norman just had a life sentence last year. He back in here, you know what I'm saying? So, and I was like, man, I love to do that when I get out. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people say when they get out, it's like, man, I stay away from the prisons and stuff like that. And it's, I mean, that's what each his own.
Each
You
his
know what I'm
own.
saying? Definitely each his own. You know what I'm saying? But I know when I walk back in that door, how many people that help. When I walk back in that door, because I had a life sentence, and like people always say, man, people be hating on. I be hearing stories. People like, man, when you go home, people be hating on people that's about to go home. Bro, they love me. They was pushing for me to go home. I'm talking about everybody that knew me on the compound push for me, even the guys that I ain't really probably never spoke to. They was pushing for me, like, man, just they was like when I came back in there, they was happy for me to leave, but when I came back in there, they was like guys talked to me, hugged me that I ain't never even talked to. You know what I'm saying? It ain't we had no issues or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Everybody just do what they do, but it's just like they was happy. You know what I'm saying? And it was like different. It was like, damn, I'm saying so many of my friends, man, and I got some friends in there. They probably don't never come home because because how old they was when they came in. Some of them got federal cases too. Some of them
Mhm.
got state. Some of them got federal cases, right? So just to what I mean. One of my friends named Ty, I look at him like a big brother. He got a federal case. You know what I'm saying? He got a couple of life sentences. He was in a hole when I came back a day, but they ain't had no cell for him, so he post been out. But the lady who helped me, who I used to, what I mean, help, you know, we used to help clean up and stuff like that. At the education of my man Yarborough, we used to help clean up and stuff like that. He she went and got him out the hole so he could see me. You know what I'm saying? That was like that was cool. You know what I'm saying? And I never forget that. Just to but when I left out there, it hurt me because I had some friends in there. P Face, which is he home now. It was other friends in there too, man. That when I left behind, when I left out, I left them back there a second time. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely a different emotional going through. But the good thing about it, I was able to go in there and get them hope. Same thing Brother Norman gave us when we came, you know what I mean? And not just Brother Norman, just to see people that come home, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that and just get back.
I always contribute that to people like Michael Jackson. Kobe couldn't be Kobe without seeing Jordan. I said Michael Jackson without seeing Michael Jordan. But because he's seen that, what he was able to do was take that skill that he's seen Jordan do, mimic it, and add to it. And the thing about this, those men that see you come back in there is an inspiration to them. It's them being able to see, yo, hold up, my man changed himself. God freed him, and now he decided to come back in there. To me, I tip my hat to you because hey, that's something that I also want to do. But to see you do it and to see the men that you inspire from doing it, it means a lot to them. That's the reason why the men that you didn't even know can would run up to you and hug you. They seen you. They seen you walk.
Yeah.
But now they're seeing you walk in a whole different way. You deciding to come back in there and spread your light, share your success with them and let them know that they're successful. It transitions the mind, or what's the name of the book club?
Free Mind Book Club.
You just freed their mind by allowing them to see how you became free, but how you're also successful out here being free. But it started there. So for them, they get to transition by looking at you transition and become a better version of them. I tip my hat to you. I hate that a lot of us, like I said, to each his own.
Yes,
A lot
it's
of a lot of people still stuck in the emotional standpoint of what prison does and what it feels like to walk through that door. But when you get by it, you get what you felt when you went in there, and that was, I know I'm here to do a work.
but I want to say this, right? I understand because, man, listen. I tell people all the time, right? When you speak about prison, man, you got to speak about prison. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people speak dead spurs. Some things people shy away from. You know what I'm saying? Cause
Mm-hmm.
like prison, man, like every institution you go to, every shakedown, every institution, every visit, you got to be strip searched.
Strip search.
You know what I'm saying? In front of other men or just whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they break you down, like somehow mentally, like, and just to, you know what I mean? Just like be around some of these staff, even your own people. You know what I'm saying? They treat you bad from where you from. We from DC, so they treated us bad. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And it was crazy, man. Like we done been through some stuff. You know what I mean? Just to be still focused, sane. You know, they done set people up to get killed, try to set people up, other people to get killed. Just different things, man. They play a lot of games, man. They play with your food. We was in Red Onion up there with Marvo at now. They play with your food. It's just so much, you know what I mean? It's dealing with these systems. That's why I tell guys all the time, man. Dudes, the DC dudes this, DC do that, bro. We 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 just men, you know what I'm
Some
saying?
of the
It's
best
just
dudes I ever met
we
was
just
from
men,
DC.
and that's why a lot of them dudes they be like, yeah, once they get to know you, man, y'all ain't even what they say about. But I'm looking at you like, bro, can't nobody tell me about you. I got to see it on my own.
Come
You know
on.
what I'm saying? They tell you about all this bad stuff, bro. Just some good men from everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's like, at the end of the day, man, I understand, man. You know, but the prisons, man, like ain't nothing good about it. That's why I tell these youth, man, all the time, man. Like, and me, I ain't made it to Oak Hill C and all when I was young. When I went to first time in jail, I was at the juvenile block. You know what I'm saying? Up to jail. And I tell these youth all the time, man, you don't like some of this shit you can't even explain. Some of this shit you don't want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Only because you be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? That's why I tell people all the time, man. I was glad to come back out and grateful, to have my mind, you know what I mean, to be mentally straight when I came out here, man. A lot of time we lose it, you know what I'm saying? And it probably was times that I was in there, probably since I've been out here too. I might have lost it for a minute, you know what I'm saying? Just to be honest, you know what I'm saying? That's why I tell people, like, that's why I love my friends, man. I love my friends. I love my friends that I grew up with before I went to prison. I got some I love, man. Then I got ones I built relationships as a brotherhood while I was in prison.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The ones that's out here, man, we We hang around each other. We talk. No matter what we going through, it could be relationship. It could be you talk to them before you get a new car. Whatever it could be, you shopping. Sometimes we get together. Like we just went to Colombia. Some of us just went to Colombia, man. Just to be able to go to another country. You know what I'm saying? And we had a good experience out there, man. You know what I'm saying? We just so much stuff, man. We get together, man. That's why I say I love my friends. I tell my sister them all the time. Some of these dudes you might don't know. You know what I'm saying? I mention their names to them, but trust me, when I'm around them, I'm in good hands. I'm
So
in good hands.
before we leave, I do need you to do something. Drop a word of wisdom if you could get to a youth, somebody out here, somebody who never been to prison. If you could drop a word of wisdom, what would it be?
Man, just man, find somebody that's different, whether it's in your neighborhood, it's in your family, in your household, in your school. Find somebody that's different. Find somebody that you could follow that's doing the right thing, man. And it's cool to be different, man. It's cool to be different. You know what I mean? Everybody think it's cool to be like everybody else. It's cool to be different, man. But when you really look at it as you get older, you be like, damn. I look back at some of the stuff, I be like, damn, I did that. I was part of that. I did that. Like, how did my mind work like that? You know what I'm saying? But it's cool, man. It's cool to be different, man. It's cool to be different. Take advantage of the education, whether you go to college or not, man. Everything, everything throughout your life, it's gonna education gonna play a part of it, man. Whether you getting jobs, getting a business, whatever you got going on, whether you going to get clothes, whether you going to a bank, open up a bank account, whatever, education play a part in all that, man. I wish like mud I would stay focused on my education. You know what I'm saying? I was ashamed of going. I mean, I ain't know how to read, write, and spell, man. I was ashamed. But now I'm proud because guess what? You find a lot of men and they don't know it. A lot
Literally.
of a lot of men ain't know how to read. There's some a lot of us we was ashamed and we ain't shared. So now when you get the chance, like yeah, me too. You know what I'm saying? It was just part of it go to that, man. So man, I tell the youth all the time, man. Focus on your education, man. You gonna follow anybody, follow somebody that's doing the right thing, man. People look at follow that's wrong. You got to be a good father, be a great leader, man. Just don't
Peace.
follow the wrong crowd, man, and be different, man.
Look, I love you, bro. I'm gonna make sure I send this to you so you
Love
have
you
your own
too, bro. And I
copy.
definitely appreciate, man. We how we met, that was crazy, but it was,
Hey,
man, it was
that's how God works. Look,
that's how God works, man.
I only meet
Appreciate it,
great
man.
people. Remember that. And
I
what
appreciate
God
the
allows me
opportunity,
to
man.
do is see people who are doing great things. For me, I highlight this. Look, I God allowed me to do 13 years in prison, meet a lot of people from DC. Most of my mentors was from DC. So I'm always grateful for the men that I meet from the
Yeah,
city. Look, I love you, bro. I'm gonna
love you
send this
too,
to
bro.
you. And hey, this is my name is Carlos Walker. This is Forward Progress, and this is Mr. Craig. Peace and blessings.